What made the Romanian Revolution so bloody? Imagine a country where fear runs deep, and every protest could turn deadly in an instant. That's what happened in Romania in 1989 during its revolution. It was one of the most violent upheavals in the history of the Cold War era. To understand why it turned so bloody, we need to look at the roots of the regime and the wider world context. First, Nicolae Ceausescu's government was brutal and tightly controlled. The secret police, called the Securitate, kept a close watch on everyone. They used violence and intimidation to crush any opposition. When protests started in the city of Timișoara, security forces responded with gunfire, killing many protesters. This harsh crackdown made the uprising more intense and deadly. Second, the country was suffering from severe economic problems. Ceausescu's policies aimed at paying off foreign debt but caused shortages of basic goods. People faced rationing of food, heating, and gas. Living conditions worsened, and social frustration grew. Many felt pushed to the edge and willing to risk everything to challenge the regime. Third, Ceausescu built a personality cult around himself. His obsession with grand projects, like the Palace of the Parliament, drained the country's resources. These projects symbolized his disconnect from the people's needs. As the public grew more angry, the regime's unpopularity increased. Fourth, Romania was isolated within the Eastern Bloc. Unlike other communist countries, Ceausescu's leadership became more erratic and disconnected from Moscow. His refusal to follow Soviet directives and his independent policies made him less predictable. When protests erupted, the regime had little external support or models for peaceful change. Fifth, the military and security forces were divided. At first, loyalist forces tried to suppress the protests with violence, but some soldiers and officers defected to the protesters. This internal split led to fierce fighting between the army and the secret police. The chaos caused many deaths and injuries, making the revolution extremely bloody. From a broader perspective, the violence reflected how Romania's regime had strayed from true socialist principles. Ceausescu's dictatorship betrayed the ideals of worker empowerment and social justice. The violent suppression of the uprising showed how dangerous it was when a communist government became a brutal dictatorship. In the wider Cold War context, Romania's revolution was different from other Eastern European uprisings. Many countries saw peaceful protests or negotiations, but Romania's regime fought back fiercely. The deep repression and loyalty of security forces turned what could have been a peaceful transition into a bloody battle. This shows how the level of state violence and internal divisions shaped the outcome of these popular uprisings during the collapse of the communist bloc.